I've been a fan of Howard Phillips Lovecraft for a long time, ever since the early 70s. At first, being only about 12 or 13, I found his writing style a bit heavy, for he at times resurrected words that haven't been used since the 18th century. But once I got used to his word usage and cadence, I discovered that true horror could be manifested in an artistic form. Thus, after being introduced to Cthulhu, Azathoth, and the dreaded Necronomicon, I was hooked. For me, art has to rattle my cage, jolt me, cause some internal damage, if you know what I mean. And Lovecraft does just that. In 1979, I even bought a copy of the Simon Necronomicon, autographed in red ink by the mysterious Simon himself. There being no internet back then, I got it by cutting out a coupon from the back of the Heavy Metal magazine along with $30. I lost that volume in a fire in 1997, and strangely, the copy I got to replace it went up in flames in 2016. Even though some have tried to place Lovecraft amongst the great occultists of the 20th century, he was, in fact, a scientific materialist and a staunch atheist. In short, a man of science. His old ones were metaphorical representations of the vast and different universe, a universe that doesn't give a fuck if you exist or not. But even though he only acknowledged the existence of matter, he tapped into something far deeper than this material plane, the fears that lie in the dark absolute of the collective unconscious. He created his own avatars of the archetypes, breathing life into that which usually only comes about in mythology. Mythology, something that can't be created from the imagination of an individual, but comes about organically, slowly, from the dreams and nightmares of a specific culture, but at the same time shares a universal underlying theme. Lovecraft, I dare to say, accomplished that which could not be done. He manifested an effective mythology, a mythology we know as the Cthulhu mythos, a term he in his lifetime never used. And my favorite of the mythos, the one that grabs a hold of me by the gut and gives it a good twist, is the Dunwich Horror. For those unfamiliar with the Dunwich Horror, it's a sweet little tale of an old man, his daughter, and her son, all living happily in the New England countryside in the early part of the 20th century. Nah, not really. It's an horrific tale of the wizard Whately and his albino daughter Lavinia, and Wilbur, her goatish son, who by his early teens stands 8 feet tall. But he's not the true horror of the story. That distinction goes to something else, but I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't read it yet. For me, reading tales of human degenerates, body horror, occult ritual, and interdimensional beings tickles my fancy. And each time I read it, the more amazed I am by Lovecraft's artistic prowess, wondering how the fuck did he come up with it. Now, Lovecraft, have you read him? And which of his tales is your favorite? Leave a comment down below.